And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. So today, I have my good friend Dawn back here with me again. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually hosting Rossie's show, which is actually the video game segment that she does here on Movie Lovers Unite, called Rossie Talks Gaming. So I think, out of respect for Rossie, I think that she would approve of me playing this.
Dude, I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited about that. It's so awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Like, I was just tinkering around with intros. And I'm like, let me see if this will work. And it has like a TM. It doesn't it sound like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of vibe to it, but arcade style.
Yeah, like the old arcade game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Definitely. If you could find like a generic, like, remember like the old, like Tekken and not even Tekken, Street Fighter or shit like that.
Yeah.
Like just the fight, just like a fight.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. But no, I love it. I love it. I can't. That's such a cool intro.
Thank you. I actually added a cool 80s vibe outro. I just have to put it into the studio later.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about The Last of Us season 2, episode 1, called Future Days. But before we do that, I want to segue into our sponsorship from the WWE store. Let me go on ahead and put this up real quick for you guys. So that way you guys can get some merch and all that kind of good stuff here at Movie Lovers Unite. And that way you guys can go on ahead, do some shopping, and treat yourself, because that's the right thing to do, even though your pockets are saying no. So it's going to be WWE 29. And this episode of Movie Lovers Unite is brought to you by the WWE store, where you can buy more belts than Joel's ever lost blood, and more merch than Ellie has trauma. Tired of surviving the zombie apocalypse and flannel and fungus? Step into the ring of fashion with the official tribal chief tracksuit. Whether you're battling bloaters or just bloated from too many cans of beans, the WWE store has got you covered. Get the new Undertaker survival kit. Includes one shovel, one flashlight, and a VHS of every time Roman Reigns said, "Acknowledge me." Use promo code WWE 29 to get 10.
Hell yeah.
What's that?
Said it's a VHS? Hell yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead, rewind it back for instant replay, just like how they used to do. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck in the VHS tape machine like it used to do back in the day when we used to rent movies from the video store. But yeah, use the promo code WWE29. That's WWE29 to get 10% off your next order and a complimentary steel chair. Great for fungi, fights, and awkward dinner conversations. The WWE store, because even the apocalypse, you gotta stay dripped in dominance. So, with that being said, let's go on ahead and talk about The Last of Us. So, I know that you and I talked about this a little bit before in the green room, but I just felt like basically what this episode is, we just press stop. We pressed the pause button, right?
Yeah.
And now we actually inserted Last of Us Part 2 into our PS5 system. That's basically what I feel like this episode does.
Yeah, it was a save. It was a save mode is what we did. We did a save.
Yeah.
Sure. It was like a quick save. Yeah.
Yeah, like overwrite the file and save it. That's what it seems like to me. But I feel like they did a good job establishing stuff within the first episode of the fact that, it opens up to Abby. She's mourning the death of her father. And it's all the stuff that Joel did at the very end of season 1, where he winds up going apeshit and killing people because he thought that Ellie was going to die because of the fact that she's actually the cure for the virus. So in his eyes, he's actually doing something heroic. But at the same time, though, he's also lying to Ellie. And then there's this whole entire thing of Ellie, should she trust him? Should she not trust him?
Yeah.
And so he broke that trust. And then Abby wants vengeance on Joel and Ellie for what's
and we get to see the lie too.
Yeah.
I really like that moment on the mountain where she's like, look me in the eyes and said, oh man. I mean, that's straight out of the game. I mean, that's literally straight out of the game. So yeah, that was an awesome moment.
I agree. I mean, they're using aspects still from the game, the music from the game. The creators are still behind this show. So they understand the lore. They understand what the fans are wanting. And yes, now here's the thing. I only played Last of Us 1. I never seen Last of Us 2.
I haven't played Last of Us 2, but I've seen a lot of gameplay of Last of Us 2. Like I've seen the entire game, like the story all the way through. I just haven't played it myself.
I know aspects of it. I know certain things that happen to Joel. I know about Abby wanting vengeance on Joel in the video game. So that's there. And I know that they changed
all that's there. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I know that they changed a few things within the show itself to actually give it more breathing room for the characters to grow and do other things. So I do appreciate maybe the small little details if I notice anything because of the fact that I haven't played the second one. But the thing that I can say is this.
But that opening is very similar to the beginning of Last of Us 2. It's very similar. I mean, that really is how it starts off. We see kind of what happened, and then we see that moment with her and Joel. And then I think it jumps to, it's not a funeral, but it's them talking about everything. And then it is the 5-year jump that you get in the game. So, but I think in the game, I'm trying to remember now because it has been a while since I've watched any of the stuff on it. But I think in the game, they didn't know where each other was in 5. Like they had separated at that point. And she was on her own, from what I remember. And they came back together at some point in this game.
Okay.
Again, don't quote me on that because I might be misremembering how, watching it because I did not play it myself. So the only reference I have is the first one that I actually
That makes sense, though. It does make sense that she would be on her own and they meet up somewhere.
Yeah, because of what happened. She from what this is what I remember is she was on her own at that point and somehow they come back together. But again, I don't remember how. So maybe I'm just misremembering it. So,
but the thing that I like is the fact that now you have Abby wanting vengeance, like I mentioned.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
The guys are like, really? Shouldn't we just move on from it? No, they kill my father. And so now I want vengeance on Joel. I want vengeance on Ellie, and I don't care. So I like how they do a time jump from the time that Ellie is, a young kid, and now she's actually a teenager.
Yeah.
And I like that time jump because now she's rebelling against Joel. Joel's going into to a psychiatrist played by Catherine O'Hara. And I thought that was actually a pretty cool thing that they did for the psychiatry and stuff. But, I feel like you need this episode to actually set up where these characters are personality-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Even though not a lot happened, I feel like you need to have that established. That there's a brokenness and a trust that's been broken because of the things that Joel did. So therefore, you need to have those consequences being played out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, and again, this isn't to say like, oh, it has to be an action-packed, out of the gate episode. But I did want more than just her rebelling in the beginning and going on this little trip or watch, whatever they call it, what did they call it? Not a watch, but
it's kind of like just scaling the around the area, kind of like a Walking Dead kind of episode.
But I don't know. I just felt like they could have. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong, and I just got to rewatch the episode now because I just walked away going, "Okay, we're back." And again, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I enjoyed the episode for what it was because I do like the relationships. I like the new relationships we have with him and what's the new girl's name? The one that comes in and sits with him and talks to him about Ellie.
Yeah, that's Catherine O'Hara's character.
Yeah, what is her name though in the show? I can't remember.
But yeah, I like that dynamic with the psychiatrist.
I like that because it's showing that he is a good guy. He messed up, but he's a good guy, and other people can see it that are her age. You know what I mean? That are what. So I do like that dynamic that we're going to get to kind of see him interact with different people, and her still hating him, and everybody else kind of being like, he didn't do anything to you, like in the sense of like he didn't hurt you, he didn't, but he lied to you, yes, but he loves you and you love him, and you know that. Like, so you got to get over this at some point. So,
well, it's typical teenage stuff though too.
It is.
Think about it.
And I love
$3
this. Like
billion.
the psychiatrist says it. Like I don't feel bad for you. Like
Right, because he's also lying to the psychiatrist, right? Because
yes,
she even says it, Joel. I think you're lying to me. I know a bullshitter when I see a bullshitter.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But
that
even they're like you have a 19-year-old daughter that's acting like your child. Like you're
right,
good.
but
You're
she
good.
also tells him this though too, man. She remember she winds up saying, um, Ellie is not your daughter.
Yes.
And the other girl that's actually the love interest for Ellie, she's also telling him she's not your daughter either. Because he
Right.
goes, I wish that her friend was more like her, would actually be like her with me as how it used to be.
Yeah.
But, she says, well, don't forget, neither one of those girls are your daughter.
Yeah.
So I like how she
Yeah.
puts him in his place.
Yeah.
And then she even this was like one of those things of like, Joel cannot bullshit this woman.
No. No way. Not to mention the uncle's going to go behind his back every time, like for sure. So she's
Because
going
I
to
think
help
he
her
believes
out.
that Ellie can handle herself.
Yeah, yes, for sure. But I also think that he trusts her to make decisions where Joel doesn't. That's the big thing with kids and their parents is the parents never really trust their kids to make the right decisions because we
Right.
want to be overprotective with our kid. I mean, we do. We want to protect them. We don't want them to do dumb things, especially things that we've done, and we're like, no, don't do that. That's dumb.
Right, because we've been down this road before
Yeah.
to not do the same shit that we've done before.
Right. So, parents are naturally going to be a little more like, no, you can't do that. Where other people are like, no, you can do it. You're good. You got this.
Yeah, you got this. You can go out and
Especially who doesn't want the cool uncle that's going to let you do cool shit? You know what I mean? And in this
that's
world,
basically
cool
what it
shit is
is.
going out to kill zombies, like, or whatever they're called, whatever we're calling them. So, yeah.
So then we actually have some of the other stuff that happens to where now Ellie is actually tattooing herself. She's listening to loud grunge music. It looks like something like in the 90s kind of thing, the way her room looks.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Old
Yeah.
Joel's guitars on the floor.
Yeah.
This is like an apocalyptic world for teenagers right here.
Yeah. This is the worst place to be a teenager, right?
Right.
Because where can she go? It's not like she can actually leave.
No.
You know what I mean? Like a 19-year-old can just leave and go somewhere else if they really want to, or if they can. But
She's just kind of stuck.
Where are you going to go? It's safe. Yeah. So, yeah.
But okay, so we were trying to figure out what Catherine O'Hara's name was. Her name is Gail.
Gail. That's what. Yeah, Gail. Okay. I just couldn't remember it. No, Gail was the psychiatrist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, the girl was somebody else, though.
Yeah,
right?
we weren't sure what Catherine O'Hara's character's name was. Her
Oh,
name was Gail. That's what I was.
what
Trying
was
to
the
get
girl's name? The other girl's name that is the love
still
interest
looking
for.
into that part.
Huh?
But I'm still looking into that part.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But
yeah, I liked her though. I liked her. I thought she was good.
Me too. I really liked her. I thought that the chemistry between her and Ellie were really good and very spot on. You can definitely tell she was making moves on her, especially when she's putting on her backpack and this rifle and stuff. And even the people who are trying to, do this neighborhood watch type thing is like saying, is telling her, you're packing way too much heat to be doing
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. 100%. She came like loaded to the gill like Rambo. And they're all just like, we're just going to grab like some tuna and shit. Like, we're not doing anything. She's like back to the gills, dude.
I don't blame her though. Her and Joel's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
here's the thing: you can go through a lot of shit just going to get some damn tuna.
Yeah, that's like what's her name from Resident Evil? Tell her not to get ready
Alice?
for
No, Jill
no. Tell Alice not to be ready for anything at any time.
Exactly. You could die for a can of tuna.
She's like, you're crazy.
I don't blame Ellie for dressing up to the nine for that.
Yeah. Yeah, they lived the actual Walking Dead part of all this, where it feels like these people have. I know there's new people coming in all the time, but they feel like they've been safe for a long time. You know what I mean?
They actually.
Yeah, and I know
it
they
feels
have
like they know what they've
now.
been
It's
doing.
been 5 years, but still, they went through some shit. Like they went through some real stuff together. So yeah.
But yeah, I like also too about how you have Ellie going into the supermarket and they're like, "Look, what are you doing?" She goes, "Well, there could be somebody up over there. What happens if it's a kid? What happens if it's a baby or something and they need our help?"
Yeah.
So I like how they sneak up over there and, you know, kids being kids, they count the fact that there's two zombies
Hmm.
inside the building.
Hmm.
First, Ellie said it's one, and then her friend says no, there's two. And then they wind up taking down the zombies together.
Yeah. Which was a cool little moment. It's a cool little moment because you can see in the beginning of this episode they're setting them up to, or at least showing that she's interested, and she doesn't know if the other girl is interested. And then we get to the dance, but yeah, we're not there yet. But yeah, I like this moment with them though because I thought, look, Ellie gets to be Ellie, and the other girl is kind of a badass too. So they both get to have a little bit of fun together, and I like them the way they communicate because it wasn't quite sign language; they were just mouthing to each other what they were saying,
Right.
but they were still trying to do like the signs and stuff. It was fun. I like the little mission part of this episode for sure.
Me too. It felt like a little side quest while they're going
Mhm.
around looking for tuna.
Yeah,
And then you have everybody else just watching them. It's like, should we go report this? And
I
they're
know.
like,
Right? Yeah. Well,
they're
when
just
she
sitting
first
there
walks
watching the whole
away and the
entire
girl like
time.
is dancing, she's like, "Yeah, let's go." Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what is wrong with you?
Right? But then I like how Ellie winds up taking the bottle, throws it, stabs the zombie, takes that zombie down.
Yeah.
And then you get into this other thing where she falls through the floor.
Yeah, which I thought for
And
sure she was gonna have like 7 of them on her immediately. Like I thought for sure.
I thought so too, to be honest with you. But at the same time, though, I'm like, I don't know if they would actually put 7 in there on the opening episode, even though you do need a banger of an episode to really feel a sense of danger. But then
Yeah.
again, Ellie's also immune to this, so therefore there's not really any sense of danger in a sense, unless there's a bunch of them
Even if there
attack.
was like one she landed on by chance and it was like trying to get at her. I don't know. Like just something a little more than just nothing. Like, well, damn. Like give me I don't know.
Although that stalker zombie thing was kind of cool to see
Oh yes, it
about
was.
how they're mimicking other survivors.
Yeah, oh, it was cool. That was a real cool moment. I was like, oh, we're stepping up now. We're evolving. Which makes sense because they're not technically zombies. They're technically spores. They're mushrooms. So I mean,
Right.
they're a living organism technically still. They're not like a dead body that's just reanimated.
No, they're evolving into
Yeah,
basically trying to fool regular people and everything into being their food.
makes sense. Makes total
Yeah, it
sense to me.
does.
Yeah.
But I just love that scene so much because Ellie thinks that she knows everything because she's experienced so much with Joel. And
Yeah.
then when she sees this thing being evolved into what it is, it kind of throws her back a little bit. It's like, whoa, okay, I might be in over my head. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, she still took it down.
Yeah. She did. And look, Ellie's a badass. We know that. I mean, we know what Ellie's capable of. But yeah, I mean, also, when you meet a new thing that you've never seen before, how do you kill it? Maybe it doesn't die the same way everything else does. So it's scary. Yeah, for sure, dude. She handled her business. She handled her business.
Definitely did. And then
Yeah.
after that happens, they go over to the council.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Which I like this moment too, and I'll tell you why. Because it really does feel like everybody else treats her like an adult, but him.
exactly, because she only sees her as like a little girl.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though. Joel sees it's basically him looking at in the lenses of a father who
Yeah.
just sees
Oh,
that
yeah.
little girl that he knew on the road from season 1,
Yep.
and that's it. It's us as adults looking at our own kids.
Yeah. For sure.
But the girl that the woman of color, the one that uh that's actually head of the council, she played in True Blood,
Oh, okay. Okay.
played Tara. But I
Okay.
love her character development because I remember her from season 1 when we get introduced to Tommy and her.
Yeah.
And I love how she's direct. And she also knows that her friend is bullshitting because she's covering for her friend
Yeah.
because she didn't see shit.
Yeah.
But I can actually tell that Ellie actually means what she says.
Yeah.
She saw something. She knows that these
Oh,
are a threat.
for sure. Yeah. And I mean, why don't you believe her? Why wouldn't you believe her? Why would she? I don't see the reason of making up this lie in this world. Do you know what I mean? If it was a regular thing, maybe she's a 19-year-old kid, whatever. She makes, she's making something up. But in this world, you make something up like that. I don't know. That doesn't seem like anybody would be that dumb. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just not the world to do it in. Like, you don't make that joke. Like, oh no, there's these new ones that are like 7 feet tall and they can just throw trees at you. Like, why would you make that up? Like, I don't want to be scared more of what we're already dealing with.
Exactly. We don't need extra to be added
Yeah, I don't
onto it.
need
It's like
the
the boy
Yeti
who cried
version
wolf.
of it. Yeah, I don't need the Bigfoot version of it. I just want to be scared of the regular ones. Like, I'm good.
It's like, look, we're good with these little basic ones that we're dealing with. We don't have time for this other new stuff that's coming around.
Yeah. So I do like that they trust her and or at least her. So, and it shows her growth. I mean, she's obviously made a spot for herself in this world, in this town, in this city. Because
Right.
there's a lot of people, man. When they show that zoom out shot of the street, there's hundreds of people there. I mean, there's a lot of people in that little town. So,
But Maria Miller is actually Tommy's wife. I just want to mention that because we couldn't think of her name either.
right.
Just trying to play catch up a little bit, but then we get into the dance.
Yeah, I'm bad with names and shows. I'm so
But
bad.
here's the thing: I took notes and I can't find my notes anywhere, so I'm kind of like my computer ate my notes.
Oh damn!
So now I'm like, okay, now I have to scramble.
Is your dog in there?
It sucks. But anyways, now we're getting into the dance aspect of it.
This is where, and I was talking to Jason about this earlier. He said it to me first, but I did notice it. This is where I think Ellie gets a little weak. I think what's her name? The actress. Oh geez, why am I blanking on her name? I can't remember
Ellie?
her name, but I just
You're talking about Bella Ramsey?
Yeah. I feel like she wasn't quite like, I know she's supposed to be playing like this like shy kid, like trying to, figure out where she's at with this girl and stuff, but I don't know, she felt really deadpan in those moments.
I feel like that, she's been putting up this front all this time.
Yeah.
And now she's finally met Diana. That's actually the girl's name is Diana.
Okay. Yeah.
And she finally met somebody that she doesn't have to put up walls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, I get to be who I want to. I can be myself around this girl. So I feel
also,
like
this is the first person, at least that we know, she's met since the first season when she met the other girl.
Right.
So,
but I just feel like, that's why it feels that way, because her walls are pretty much down and not being defensive or anything, because of the fact that I think she wants someone to fight for her because she's always the one fighting for someone.
Sure.
So
yeah, I can see that. And again, I'm not putting her down. No.
I'm just saying.
I just think that it just came off very, I don't know, just like I said, deadpan, just very like kind of. She's just like in the one scene. It really I noticed it was they're talking and they're standing next to each other, and she's literally just staring into space. It feels like for like a good solid minute. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. But the rest of the episode, I thought she was fine. It was just those few. Right before and during the dance, I don't know. She just kind of fell off for me in those moments.
I don't know. I think it's just being comfortable around somebody else.
Yeah.
Being
it could be the choice. Yeah, it could be her choice for sure.
It's just me how I'm seeing it, but but it's what works for me may not work for you, kind of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, for me it works. But I just think that it was a douche ball bag move for someone to just come out there and just say this is a family event. So let's say, for instance,
I didn't have a problem with him interjecting. I think the way he did it was wrong. Like, he could have been like, "Hey, girls, like this is a family event. Kind of keep it down." He came in strong, so Again, I don't mind him like saying something. It's the way he said it, and then what he says at the end, obviously, like, no, like we're not dealing with that.
He could have just said, "Look, I'm sorry for the way it happened, but I'm not sorry for the way I." You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for the way I said it, but I'm not sorry for the. but still,
For
dude,
sure.
like that was just brutal. And then
I
Joel
love
comes
that
in there.
I love that her reaction though is immediate. She's like, "Oh hell no! Like you're not talking to me that."
Right? And then Joel comes in there and
Yeah,
being the protective dad that he is,
sure.
he goes, "Are you okay, darling?" And she just gives him that go to hell look, like I can take care of my own damn
No.
self. I don't need you.
I felt so bad for both of them in this moment. I really did because I get where she's coming from, but damn it, he was doing the right thing. Like he just did. He's doing the right thing. So it's like, yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from, and like I don't think you're wrong, but at the same time, he's doing the right thing. Like he's not being a dick in that moment. He's doing the right thing.
Right. Even the psychiatrist who's watching this play out, she's
Yeah.
thinking, Joel, you're doing the right thing here. I'm sorry this is not working for you. You can tell
Yeah.
in her eyes, like she feels bad for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel bad for both of them because again, it's not that I don't think Ellie's right, or is I don't think she's wrong for feeling the way she does. I should say,
Right.
you know.
And then once that happens, you see Abby and them looking down over the town because now they're finally seeing some other town and everything too, some sanctuary. So they're
Yeah.
thinking that maybe Joel might be in there.
I think they know. I think they know somehow. They're coming loaded, dude. I think they came here because they know he's there somehow.
So do you think maybe they might have seen Ellie over in the supermarket?
I don't know if it's something like that. I think they got information though somehow because you got to figure these guys are bringing people in from everywhere. So yeah, I just feel like somehow they know he's there. They talk to somebody or something. Yeah, in the last 5 years, I think they figured it out somehow. Yeah. Either way, it's going to be awesome. Either way, this is going to be crazy.
And then we have the fireworks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Seeing that, well, before we've seen them looking over the town, we actually see that the fireworks, and
Yeah.
then we see that speckle of what weeds, kind of. I call it weeds, but I don't know what exactly, or fungi.
Yeah. Inside I was wondering about that too because when they were doing that in the beginning of the episode, they were opening up the I guess it's like ceramic. It's plumbing basically. It's old school plumbing. But the problem is roots grow right into it like that. But their problem is, yeah, they got the fungi in there too. So, and that firework, if that thing catches on fire, all those houses and everything in that town is gone.
Everything's gone.
Gone.
You don't even have to worry about Abby trying to do anything to them. But although with
The
everyone
problem
being in a
is
camp,
with the fungi in there, which we learned from the first season, is that this thing can communicate over long distances with itself. You know, when it catches on fire, it's going to call in the reinforcements.
right? And during that time, it's going to give an edge for Abby to come in there to
Yeah.
find Joel and Ellie scrambling around there.
See, I don't know if this is how it happened in the game. So this is what I mean, there are things that happen like this in the game, but I don't remember if this is exactly how it was in the game. So that's the
Right.
only thing.
And I know some people are kind of upset that they changed a few things for the game, but I feel like, even as someone that hasn't played it, I feel like you need to change some aspects so that way
Yeah.
it's not a paint by the numbers kind of show to not know what to expect. And I think that's what made the first season so great. They kept some
Yeah.
in there, but they also expanded on some ideas.
They changed a lot in the first season. I don't want to say a lot, but they changed enough stuff in the first season and nobody cared. I didn't hear a lot of backlash from the first season.
Me either. I think everybody loved it. I think that they need to just cool their
Everything they changed
jets.
made sense. Yeah. And
I think
again,
they
it
need
doesn't
to,
have to make sense. It has to fit the story they're telling.
exactly. It's all about the story and if it fits in with the narrative of what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Now, if they come out in the next episode and we find out it's aliens, then okay, I'm out. Like I'm out. But
And then Mulder comes in from the X
right,
Files,
like
and
yeah, I mean, if they do something completely ridiculous, of course, but they're not doing anything completely ridiculous, at least so far that I've seen. So,
right.
yeah,
Same here. I think it's fitting in with the story. Like I said, it's not a mid episode. I think it's a good episode to a start. Like I
sure,
said, this is just basically us uh, pausing our game and then inserting another game for the sequel, and then
yep.
continue off where that game left off for season
And
2.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I think that's exactly how the game felt. I mean, when you picked up part 2, you were back in the first game, and then you were in the new game, 5 years later. So, actually, I think it was like 7 years later, but still, yeah, same thing.
But still, it didn't feel like time has changed. It felt like that we
No,
were in there with them.
right.
But yeah,
So,
I
I
think
liked
that's
it. Again, overall, I do think this was a good episode. I don't think it was great. I don't think but I do think it was good.
too. I think this is a good episode, a good way to start it. Because I think you need to establish the fact that there's friction within the characters that we knew from the first season, and that Ellie is now a teenager, and that she found somebody that loves her, and then she's also trying to fit into this world 5 years later as a teenager versus it being a little girl. So you establish things before you do it. Even my wife says it was good, but not great. I
Yeah.
do agree.
Well, and the thing
But
too is this is a new season with new people. I mean, we still have Joel and Ellie, obviously, but this is all new people to us for the most part. So we need to care about these people because they're going to start dying. Like people are going to start dying. So like we
right,
need to care about these people. So they got to introduce these new characters that we're going to, get to know. So
for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a good start. Nothing much happened, but still, at the same time, a lot happened. But
Yeah.
between relationships, friction, with all
When
that
I say
stuff. But
nothing
yeah,
happened, I think you mean the same thing. When we say nothing happened, just meaning that it wasn't like a big. Usually, first episodes of seasons try to go crazy.
right.
So
I
yeah,
like
it
that.
just wasn't that.
Right. And here's the thing: what I like a slow pacing show at the very
Sure.
start of it, and then we get into what the show you're trying to tell us and everything. Reintroduce us to the old characters, and while also introducing us into new characters.
Yeah.
So we can care and be invested in those characters when they do die off. We can cry. We can have full analysis on what we think, and fan theories. So
Sure.
I think it works out narratively. I was shocked.
Oh, the
Let her,
uncle. Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's just a cool uncle thing, like you said, Don. Whereas,
Yeah.
you know, drunk uncle shows up on Thanksgiving. Well, kids, I know you're not supposed to have beer, but guess what? I'm gonna go ahead and give you a beer anyways. Here, your dad was drinking at your age. Here you go.
Yeah.
It's
I
kind of
like him.
like,
I like him too. I think he was good
yeah.
as like the uncle. So I do think he looks a lot like Adam Driver. Though they should have just got Adam Driver. But other than that, he was good. He really was good.
I,
So.
I always like the actor of Tommy. I think they picked a very
Oh yeah,
good.
no, he's good.
Yeah,
No, he really is good. Yeah, yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. Because it's
Okay,
it's the
guys.
actor from the show from the game, right? Didn't they get the actual
Yeah,
actor?
they got the actor from the
Yeah, I
game.
thought so. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. All right, guys. So my question for you guys is this: did you guys enjoy The Last of Us episode 2? Not episode 2. I'm already skipping. Season 2, episode
Episode
1.
two.
Did you guys enjoy it?
We've
Tell us in
already
the comments
seen it.
below.
Blah.
Was it bleh? But yeah, tell us what you think. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Also, too, Don will be here with me tomorrow with Chris and Rashad. And we're gonna be talking about the season finale of Daredevil, Born Again, episode 9. So go on ahead, join us at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. For that,
Oh
and
yeah.
always until next time, guys. And by the way, please get you guys some merch.
Yeah,
Come on, I've been
guys.
trying to
Please
sell you guys
volunteer.
some WWE merch and everything, and no one's biting.
I
I'm
don't
serious,
even like wrestling, and I want one of those belts. Like, I really want one of those belts so
right?
bad.
Even the Norman Reigns shirt I was trying to sell you guys. Oh,
Oh, oh, really? Okay. I didn't really
zombies.
notice. I didn't really notice, so I have to look again.
I'm, You know what though? They also use practical effects for the zombies as well in
Yeah,
that first season, and then I feel like they did better with the cosmetics as well with that
sure.
as well for the season 2.
I mean, I guess it's going to depend on what they're doing with them in that scene, right? Because
Right.
I would think a lot of it would be practical, but some things when they're growing and doing weird things, they're going to have
Yeah,
to
they have
do
a little bit of
CGI.
CGI mixed in with the
Right.
practical to make it more believable.
But I would like more practical if they're not doing that. So,
Same.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, like I said, grab yourself some merch. I know your wallet might say no, but I'm telling you, do it. And I'm not responsible if you go broke.
That's right.
Always until next time, have a great and safe day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. By the way, Rossie will be back hosting her this segment every Wednesday. coming up. So go ahead, check her out on Rossie's Talks About Gaming.